So it's a little crowded. I guess we should have traded some of the picks last night. We don't even have a podium big enough to fit everybody. No, in all seriousness, thank everybody for coming. Yeah, we appreciate it. It's been a whirlwind 24 or so hours for the Phoenix Suns and for our franchise. And, we're super excited, though, that, the four guys sitting to my right, you can imagine what's gone on for them in the last, I guess it's even less than 24 hours, the last 20 or so hours, what their life has been like. We had, I think, 3 guys flying from New York and 1 from San Antonio on very little sleep. But, it's a historic day for the Suns franchise. The first time ever having the number 1 pick. Those of you who were here last night, I think saw and throughout the day sensed the excitement, and then saw the excitement when the pick was announced when we selected Deandre. And that was pretty cool. We were able to go watch it as well, just with the delay after we called in the pick. Robert, our owner, and James and Igor and I, we went out to the bowl and watched it, and that was a pretty special moment for the franchise. And then after that, draft continued, and we ended up making the trade with Philly to get Mikal, and then drafted Elie and George in the second round, and had what we consider a great night for the Phoenix Suns. With that, just a few welcomes, a few introductions, and then we'll open it up for questions. Going in draft order, we'd like to welcome Deandre Ayton to Phoenix. He is joined today by his agents, representatives, Neiman Namakian and Bailey Williams from BDA, and we certainly appreciate their help throughout the process. Also like to welcome Mikal Bridges. He's joined today by his mother, Tania Rivers, his girlfriend Granger, and from Excel Sports, Jordan Gertler and Ashley Combs, and we'd like to thank them for their help as well. To my right, Elie Okobo. He's joined today by Herman Mankian. Thanks to those two as well. Congratulations. And then finally, George King from Colorado. Welcome, everybody, to the Phoenix Suns family. And with that, we'll open it up for questions.
Justin Spears, the Arizona Daily Star. Deandre, can you just take us back to last night when Commissioner Adam Silver finally announced your name and you became a Phoenix Sun?
It was mind blowing. It was a dream come through, and I was starstruck. Seeing the reaction on my parents' faces, it was just priceless. And as I got up on the podium and shook the commissioner's hand, I just took it all in. Emotional. I was very emotional. But I tried to keep it professional until I got off the stage. But it was a blessing. I'm very happy to be a Phoenix Suns.
Dave King, Bright Side of the Sun, question for Mikal. So we got to ask you how that all transpired for you. I know you were happy going to the Sixers, getting picked by them, and can you walk us through how that all transpired, finding out you became a Phoenix Sun?
Yeah, I was doing some media stuff, getting some nice pictures, and then I was walking to sit down and wait, and somebody kind of mumbled "Oh, just be prepared. You might get traded." I was like, "What? What did you say?" And they told me, I was like, "Oh, okay." So I sat there and I watched. I mean, it's crazy. I just didn't know, but I knew because I'm close with Donovan Mitchell, and he talked to us and tell us that he got traded. So, you got to prepare for that. But I'm excited. I'm happy to be here.
Ashley Neville, NBA Summer League. Mikal, you mentioned the NBA Summer League last night when you spoke to media. What are you looking most forward to about that experience and being able to showcase your abilities?
You watched Summer League since you were young, and I'm just so excited to play here. One thing I want is leave Vegas with a championship. So, I'm just excited, finally, put a jersey on and get ready to play 5-on-5 again.
Deandre and Mikal, question for you both. Deandre, I think you talked last night in New York, Scott Bordeaux from the Arizona Republic, about how you and Mikal have grown close. Where did that kind of friendship grow, or how did it evolve, and where did you guys meet?
All the awards we won in college, especially in what was that?
LA.
Oh, in LA. We got the Hall of Fame awards, and we really just built a relationship. Going to the events, going on the bus, being at the hotel, just being around each other all the time, just cracking jokes. You build that chemistry, and he's a cool guy. He respects my game, I respect his, and then build on from there.
Yeah, same thing. We met in LA. and just, I mean, went through LA and came here. It's something like I knew him for years. And it's crazy. I didn't think I was ever going to be on the same team. Like, we never talked about, like, oh, we might, be on the same team together. But it's like, it's crazy. Like, right when after I got traded, I was waiting to see him, and he was just, he was hyped, and I was hyped too. So it's really cool.
Deandre, Bob Baum with Associated Press again. Ryan mentioned the crowd that was in here last night when they made the announcement of your pick. The place erupted louder than it has for a lot of games for a lot of times.
Thanks, Bob. Thanks for pointing that out.
Well, it was free, so that's one reason. But you come in here with a load of expectations. The guy who could kind of lead this team out of the wilderness. How do you embrace that kind of role? And is that a lot to expect for a guy who's not quite 20?
I mean, I embrace it a lot. Through my career, I will always have that chip on my shoulder. When it comes to expectations, I'm representing the whole nation, and I try to be the best player I can. The only thing I can possibly do is really just help this team start a winning legacy year, and be the best team that I can possible, and just try to be the best two-way player.
Question for Ryan: can you take us through how the trade happened at 16 to bring Mikal over? How did it start, and when did the 2021 pick come in, and all that? Can you talk us through that?
Sure. Yeah, it was a bit of a complicated process. I think we've been pretty open and transparent about our desire to try to move up. To take the 16th pick and move up into the top 10, and it was something we tried to do in advance of the draft, and proved to be difficult. Those teams really valued the picks. Mikal's a guy that we targeted, that we were chasing, but the teams in the top 10 were unwilling to move. So we had conversations with Philly, as prior to the draft, even on the clock as the 7th, 8th, and 9th picks came off the board. Once he was there at 10, we made him an offer. They were comfortable drafting him. You'd have to ask the 76ers, but I think they drafted him with the intention of keeping him. And what I think happened is once picks 11 through 15 went by and Zaire Smith was still there, they re-engaged us. We were open and transparent with Philly. We said, they said no trades for the 10th pick. We're keeping it. I asked, who they're taking, and they said Mikal Bridges. And I said, okay, that's the guy we wanted. If anything changes, let us know. We're coming back again with the 16th pick. And I think, what happened is, 11 through 15 went by. They liked Zaire. We were willing to step up and put the 2021 Miami first into play. And that's ultimately how the deal got done.
How long did you get to think about that 2021 pick?
3.5 years. No. I mean, no. Look, we waited, carefully. The pros and cons of trading it. It's unprotected. It could be a great pick. It could not be a very good pick. Miami historically has been a very stable and well-run franchise from the top down, starting with the Harrison family and Pat Riley, and I think they have one of the best young coaches in the league in Eric Spoelstra. So if you look at where they usually draft, it's in the teens to 20. They are in the Eastern Conference. They are in a destination market. So all of that factored into our decision making. They also have cap space in 2020. So we weighed the pros and cons of trading it heavily and carefully, and we were only going to put it into play if we had a chance to get a special player, and that's how we feel about Mikal.
Hi, Greg Moore, Arizona Republic. Welcome to town, everybody. I'm curious what you're thinking about as you're getting ready to take this next step, how you might want to change your games or what strengths you might like to emphasize. I'm just curious what's going through your mind as you get ready to take this next step.
I'll answer that one. Just continue to do what you do well. We're all here for a reason because of our strengths. Not necessarily trying to throw in and work on our weaknesses right away. But we're here because we other things that we do well. So I think we continue to do that. We'll set ourselves up for the next step for sure.
This question's for Ryan. Jody Ayler, Fox Sports 910. Ryan, a lot of moving parts last night. Couple of reports come out premature, erroneously. How chaotic was the night for you last night?
Yeah, well, especially after the first pick, and that might sound, you know, a little bit contradictory, but you know, when you know, I spoke last night about the impression that Deandre made on us throughout the process. You know, he's a guy we've, you know, scouted heavily. We watched, I think, you know, from his time at Hillcrest, and then you know, through you know, the year at the U of A, you know, we've scouted his games, practices, all that. He came away, came in and blew us away, you know, in his workout and interview, and we did his medical testing, and it all lined up. So I think, you know, he was always the front runner, and by the end of last week, we were very comfortable that he was the guy, unless somebody blew us away with a trade. That didn't happen, so we called him the pick at 1. And honestly, Jody, that's when it got chaotic, because, you know, we were using 16 to try to move up, and, you know, we engaged the teams 2 through 10, and we weren't able to crack it. So then, you know, we were evaluating staying and picking at 16, or even potentially dropping back from 16, because we weren't as excited about the grouping of players who were available at 16. That's not to take anything away from those guys are talented players. We just didn't think it was maybe the guys who were there would be a great fit with our group. So we were looking at, you know, who do we pick if we stay 16, or if we drop down later into the first. We looked at that as well. And then, you know, when Philly re-engaged us, that opened a door that, honestly, I think we thought it closed at that point, and we were happy to get that deal done. But right after that was done, then we moved on to 31. And I mentioned last night that Elie was, you know, a guy we had rated a lot higher than the 31st player in this draft. He made a great impression on us watching him play in France, and then hearing his workout as well. And then after that, we moved on to 59. So I think it was just constant, you know, throughout the night. When you start the draft at 1 and virtually end it at 59, you know, we're excited to get George. We love the balance these 4 players have. They're all a little different. They all play different positions and fit differently, and that's important to us because we think they have the opportunity to grow together. They don't block each other. Their games all complement each other, and that's why we thought it was a very successful night for the Phoenix Suns.
This question for Deandre back here in the middle. Richard Sines, Fox 10 Phoenix, welcome. You kind of touched on playing with Mikal and the excitement about that. Can you just tell us about the excitement about joining this Phoenix Suns team and playing with guys like Devin Booker and Josh Jackson? I know you kind of hinted that you and Devin could be the Shaq and Kobe 2.0. Just tell us about being able to join a team that's young like yourself and going to grow together at the same time.
I mean, you know, we're young, and, you know, we're very hungry. And, you know, I think with great team chemistry and the work ethic that we have, especially us guys coming in, you know, we're going to bring it to the next level. You know, we got young legs. You know, we can run all day. So, I mean, we just have to have great chemistry on and off the court and be the best teammates we can, and we'll make history. We can really start a winning legacy.
Paul Richardson with the Sportscape. This question is for the coach. Coach Igor, when everyone talks about, or I shouldn't say everyone, a lot of people say big men are going away in the past, but when you have an extraordinary player like Deandre, how do you envision using his strengths in today's NBA?
I think it's something that it's obvious that it's one of the you know, the unique talents that we haven't seen for decades. And we're really happy and excited to have him. Personally, me as a coach, you know, good players always inspires you as a coach. I think as a young player, and that's, you know, Deandre is included in that one. You know, as a young player, you come with energy, you bring your energy. You're always in the best shape, and you know your playbook. So that's how you make a team, obviously. I think that's going to be one of the elite defenders in this league. And he can match everything that other big guys can do right now in the league when it comes to the defensive part of the game. Which is being great, rim protector, covering all these parts, you know, the defense that comes to the protecting the paint, rim, and running the floor well, being very vocal. That's a talent also. Communication on the floor is a huge part of the talent, and he can do even more. He can do, I think, more, and his talent potential right now and productivity is even higher and better than some elite defenders in this league. So he can do both, and I think that versatility kind of give us really make us even more excited about his presence here, that he can play both sides of the floor.
Hey, Deandre, Mark McClune, Arizona's Family, CBS 5, 3 TV. Welcome to Phoenix. What have the last 24 hours of your life been like, specifically when the pick was called and you heard your name called? What's it been like since then? How many hours of sleep did you get last night?
I didn't sleep. I got a little nap on the plane on the way here, but it's been crazy. Since I landed in New York, it's been busy. Media has been crazy as well. So, but I got used to it. Now I know how this is a part of my life, and I have to get used to it if I want to do it or not. And it's just really a blessing because I can remember like yesterday, like I'm back at home, just being a kid. Now I'm here in front of all you people, just waiting to just play the game of basketball the best way I can.
Dave King with Bright Side of the Sun. Again, I got two quick questions. One for one for Deandre, asking about Joel. Joel tried to engage you on Twitter last night, or at least tried anyway. How badly did you want to respond on that?
Not at all. I have no comment on that one.
Okay, I figured that was the answer. And then I do have a better question. I have a question I want to direct at Elie. How much engagement did you have with the Phoenix Suns before this? Did you have an idea you were going to be taken before your name was called?
I had a workout with the Phoenix Suns during this process, and I knew they really liked my game and the way I was playing. So, but I didn't know exactly where I would get picked. And I'm really happy to be here today and be part of this organization.
Ryan, there's a famous story told here about Amari Stoudemire's workout that Jerry Colangelo saw him for about 5 or 10 minutes and said, "Stop, I know you're our pick." You said you were blown away by DeAndre's workout. How quickly in that workout did you either say something to somebody or know in your head, this is the guy?
Yeah, I think it was pretty apparent early on in the workout. We didn't want to cut it short because we wanted to see what kind of shape he was in, so that was, I think, a little bit of a misperception about the 1-on-0 workouts. I think, the players who haven't done it and the representatives sometimes think it's going to be easier than, doing a 6-man workout in 3-on-3. Personally, I think it's harder. And I get that it eliminates the injury risk and all that, but you don't get a break. And as Deandre will tell you, we put him through the ringer and put him in a lot of different situations that were designed to fatigue him a little bit and designed to push him. Because we wanted to see how he'd respond, and he responded extremely well. We had him do obviously a lot of shooting, a lot of finishing around the rim, but we had him do pick and roll coverages and passing drills and ball handling and just a little bit of everything. And he blew us away. And so like I said last night, we didn't bring the guys in for the #1 pick in any particular order. We just took them in the order which we could get them when they were available. But the fact that he was the leader coming in and that he did so well in his workout set an extremely high bar that in retrospect may have been impossible for anybody to top. But the other 3 guys we worked out did well also. And at that point we hadn't done the medical testing. We hadn't spent a ton of time with DeAndre one-on-one, and that happened after the workout. But his workout in and of itself was as impressive as I've ever seen in my 16 drafts in the NBA.
Claris Murray of the Arizona Republic. This question's for George and Elie. Just curious, how was your draft night for you guys as second-round picks, and what did you kind of expect from the night entering the draft?
Go first. The night was, it was crazy. There's a lot of waiting for me, right? I was, the 59th pick, but it's a lot of nerves. Didn't know where I was going to go. Remember Lou texted me first, being really excited. Wasn't sure what he was talking about. Then my agent called me, let me know that I was going next. And, it was joy, relief.
Yeah, all my family was there in the draft with me to spend this special day, and I was nervous, excited, and stressed at the same time, and I was waiting to hear my name called, and it happened, and I was so happy to be able to be in NBA for now, and I'm ready to work.
Bob Baum with AP again, DeAndre. First of all, we got to get people to straighten out that capital A thing, because people are always putting a capital A in your first name, and you don't have one. What would it mean to you to be able to kind of be at the core of the revival of this franchise, and even beyond that, to be considered one of the best to play the game? Is that how high your standards are?
I mean, yeah. You know, coming in, I want to set the tone. I mean, I know I'm coming in as a rookie, but that doesn't mean I mean business on the floor as well. You know, I'm just want to come in, you know, respect all the guys that's been there before me, hear what they have to say, and, you know, show me the ropes, show me the tricks and trades on how this game works. And you know, that's how chemistry and respect builds up as a team, and, you know, we just start winning games from there.
Mike Bauer, 1580 The Fanatic, 993 FM. This question's for George and for Deandre. You guys played 3 times last year. George, you guys got the first one, and Deandre, you guys got the next 2. What's the scouting report on the other guy sitting up there with you? George, what's the scouting report on Deandre, and vice versa?
Try your best. No, keep him off the boards. But yeah, for sure, try your best. Yeah.
I mean, I had to guard George most of the game sometimes. You know, he's everywhere, and he's a great shooter as well. And, you know, he attacks the rim, and he can post up as well. He's a big guard, and he's always on the offensive glass as well. So, I mean, he's everywhere. And, you know, one of the big scouting reports, you know, you cannot miss him. He's just always active on the floor. He never disappears.
This one's for Deandre. Greg Moore, Arizona Republic. You talked a lot about being dominant on draft night, and I'm curious, you know, how you see that playing out. Is this something that you're looking at with skills? Are you looking at physicality? How are you looking to make that impact that you want to make?
I mean, being dominant on and off the court, you know, you want to be a great person, and, you know, you want to be a great person with the community, and, you know, on the court you want to be dominant as well. Once you're in between those lines, it's all business. And, you know, like I said, it's a young team. We're a young team. We all have the same work ethic. You know, guys like us right here, coming out of college, we just have to bring our work ethic to the next level, because, you know, this is a grown man's game. So, you know, we just have to really buy into what these guys who came before us are saying to help us, because they're going to help us. And, you know, just really learn and listen, and just we got to build on from there.
Igor, Scott Bordeaux, Arizona Republic. With the drafting of Deandre and the trade from Mikal, how much more versatile does this make you guys defensively, in the sense that you can now do a lot of switching, which really needs to happen with kind of the way the NBA game is played today?
I mean, the answer is simple. It's a lot. I mean, it gives us versatility that we can use defensively and also on offensive part of the court. So I think we can do a lot. So that's by the beginning of the training camp, we're going to study and then come up with a game plan.
Ryan, how does this set you up for free agency? I know you've used some figures last night, but just $20 million, that's just something like that, or somewhere in that neighborhood?
Yeah, depending on where the salary cap ends up coming in, Bob, we're projecting to have between $15 and $20 million in cap space. So, you know, we added 4 very talented young players last night, sitting to my right. But at the same time, we want to add some veterans as well to help us win and help us grow, you know, as a team and as a franchise, and also help these guys improve. You know, I think playing with some veterans will put these guys in position to be effective and successful as rookies, and that's something we value. So we were aggressive last night, obviously with the picks and the trade up to get Mikal, and then we're going to continue to be aggressive over the next couple weeks. As soon as free agency starts, we have some money to spend, and we're going to look to spend it on the best players we can get.
Evan Sidery, Bright Side of the Sun. Igor, just what have you seen out of Elie so far? What have you seen on tape or in person? Just his development at the point guard position. What do you see in the future for that?
I love his game. I mean, obviously, it's you're watching the list of the guys who in this class and also free agents. I think that he can be one of the lead point guards also in this league. I think that he's crafty. He's a great ball handler, and it's one thing really kind of draw our attention is how fast he improved, and how fast his game changed in the last 6 months and last year. So we're just hoping that that path's going to go up, and we're going to help him to become even better.
Clarence Mario of the Arizona Republic. This question is actually for James Jones. Just curious what this draft process was like for you, being a former player and now this new front office role, and how involved were you with it?
Wow, it's loud. Goodness, thanks. I mean, it was different, but I've always tried to watch the draft and monitor the draft and take it, view it from a player's perspective, and really appreciate the caliber of talent that's on the board. So having an opportunity to lend my opinions to what a winning player looks like was fulfilling for me and fulfilling for the organization. And so when I'm in that room and I get a chance to see these 4 guys come across the board for us, it just made sense. And so I'm just excited that we have them here, because what we've talked about from the onset was bringing in guys that are about winning, are about improving, that are great teammates, that have NBA skills, and that are very, very good college players who we expect, and I'm pretty sure they expect, to be very, very good NBA players.
Jason Snavely, ABC 15. Questions for Deandre. Deandre, you played some of your high school ball here, played your college ball down south. How fitting is it for you to start your pro career here, and was your family pretty psyched about where you landed?
As soon as my mom and I made a decision that we're going to stay here and make Arizona our second home, we had to adapt to how their American life is. And, going through the process of going to the U of A, going through the stuff I went through, and, the fans supporting me, not believing in the media, it was just phenomenal. And, it was a lot of loyalty in that as well. And, knowing that they had my back and they gave me their all, and I also gave them my all, I just had a lot of love. And, to me, Arizona has the best fans in the world. And, it's an honor to be selected as the first #1 draft pick, and, to the Phoenix Suns.
Deandre, Brad Sussmat, Sports 360 AZ, welcome. A lot of questions that fans have been sending in during this press conference. What jersey number are you going to wear?
I'm probably going to wear number 22.
Okay, and the reason for number 22?
That's the only number I could probably think of right now that's available.
Okay. They want to know your thoughts on Alkins and Trier not being drafted. Do you have some thoughts on that?
I don't think they. I know Alonzo and Raleigh would love to be drafted, but stuff happens, and I think they're going to get picked up by some team. But once they're in the league, their worth ethic is they're 2 hard workers.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys are great guys off the court, and they're going to be great teammates as well. So I know wherever they go, they're going to be great.
And what are your plans for the next couple of weeks? You have all the business side that's come down with Puma endorsements and the draft and the fatigue. I think fans are hearing some maybe a little tired eyes here. Do you have some plans for the next few weeks?
Just really getting settled in and, getting ready for training camp in the summer league. That's about it.
Questions for Igor Atreya Verma, AZ Central Sports. Ryan mentioned yesterday that you guys might look into talking to Coach Sean Miller down in Arizona to learn a little bit about how Deandre could be coached the best way. Is that something that you've discussed or something you'd be open to?
Generally speaking, as a staff and myself, we are always open to learn more about a basketball, game of basketball, and learn about our players. And that's one of the thoughts and ideas that I share with us as a staff, and obviously with Ryan and James. And it's going to happen. Coach is going to be invited to be part of our training camp and to be, Deandre was saying that, Coach was a big part of his developing process, and he's got a lot of respect for him, so we have to respect for that too. Door's going to be open, and he's more than welcome to join us in the meetings and the practices, and I'm going to get in touch with Coach and make him feel comfortable and always welcome.
Thanks, guys. We appreciate you coming out.